Hello, my name is Andy and I am the Village Idiot. I'm armed with a car and a GoPro and an unhealthy amount of time on my hands. I'm using that time to attempt to visit every civil parish in England. You're watching the West Lindsey series. This is one of the 9 districts of Lincolnshire and one of the county's most rural. It has 128 civil parishes. Let's see which one this episode's all about. Welcome back to West Lindsey, everybody. We've got 5 left to cover in this district, and today I've brought you to one of the smallest that remains. Behind me, you can see a vast expanse of parkland that belongs to a hall, and that hall is now a college of agriculture. Welcome to the parish of Riseholme. The West Lindsey series is sponsored by Gainsborough Cycles 01427 617 752. For all your cycling needs, this is your one-stop shop, located at 20 Ropery Road or online at gainsboroughcycles.com. There's a link in the description. Gainsborough Cycles, ask for Trevor Halstead. And this video is also sponsored by Jamie's Fitness Studio, based on Low Road, Greyingham, near Curtin in Lindsey. Jamie is one busy lady. Check her out by calling 07906 749 574 or emailing hello@jamies.co.uk. Online membership is available. There's a link to her Facebook page in the description. Jamie's Fitness Studio. Get fit, get happy, get healthy. Here's my disclaimer for people who may be watching me for the first time. I say things as I would in my native accent and dialect. As a result, I may not pronounce things in the same way as the locals do. Remember, I'm a visitor. It's impossible to know everything. Leave me a comment, spin me a like, and bash that subscribe button. Let's get to today's parish video. With just 5 to go in West Lindsey, today we're hitting a place that's both historically and educationally important. This is Riseholme, one of the smallest in West Lindsey in terms of an actual village, but it's well known to many. The whole area is defined by swathes of parkland, a few farms and a massive lake. From the air, you'd be forgiven for thinking there was no village here at all. At the centre of its tiny boundaries lies the Riseholme College of Agriculture, which since 2012 has been a part of Bishop Burton College in the East Riding. Although separate to the University of Lincoln, Riseholme's main building, the exquisite 18th century Riseholme Hall, has been owned by them since 1994, as has its adjoining parkland. Once a thriving medieval village, Riseholme's name literally means brushwood place. It was an Anglo Saxon settlement which became a Norman Manor. It had strong monastic links until it suffered an astronomical decline thanks to Henry VIII at the dissolution of the monasteries. It was abandoned by the 1600s, but there are traces of the medieval village still visible, if you know where to look. In the 19th century, Riseholme, for a short while at least, became the residence of the Bishop of Lincoln. In fact, 2 former bishops lie in the churchyard at St Mary's, which was founded by Bishop John Kay. So, shall we have a look at it all? I think we should. It's a great idea. Let's go. We begin our walk on Riseholme Lane, the main road through the parish from east to west. To the north of it is Riseholme Park. On Church Lane, there's an information board about Riseholme and its history. Even though I'm a local, I learned a lot from this. There's a whole section dedicated to St Mary's Church, which is just about the only publicly accessible building that's here. That wasn't the case 500 years ago. Standing on this spot, you'd have seen a thriving medieval village with strong monastic links. This man pictured is Charles Wordsworth, the nephew of the poet William Wordsworth. He's one of the men who once lived here. That's because he was once the Bishop of Lincoln. Riseholme Hall was the bishop's official residence between 1840 and 1887. The Hall and St Mary's Church are Riseholme's oldest buildings. Here's one of the few houses in the modern village. Riseholme now is much more about the college, and at the end of Church Lane you begin to encounter some of its buildings. Okay, so we've reached an area that looks very much like it is private property, and that's because it is. If there's a sign here that tells you it is. Here's the main gate, as it were. It says there, private property, no unauthorised access. Access to the campus is for staff, students and authorised visitors only, so I can't walk any further than here. However, on the right there you can see the church. Now the entrance to the church is down there, so I should be able to get in there and have a look at the church next. Then we'll just turn around and head back to the main road and capture the rest of Riseholme from there. Standing almost all on its own, St Mary's was built in 1850, making this one of the more modern church buildings in West Lindsey. It was founded by John Kay, who was the predecessor to Charles Wordsworth as the Bishop of Lincoln. St Mary's features a window provided by the college students, upon which are the words, "As you sow, you will reap." The modern building was designed by the architect S.S. Toylon, and it's built of local cane stone. There was a former church here though. Outside the modern churchyard there's some fragments of the former medieval St Michael's Church, which was destroyed by the 1600s. And speaking of the churchyard, both John Kay and Charles Wordsworth lie in these grounds amongst its many graves. Now all these buildings that are in front of the church are all part of the college, but these are the only ones really that we can get up close and personal with, because all the other college buildings are all around the hall, which, as we've already learned, is private access. You can't get to it unless you have permission to do so. So today's special section may well be an elongated version of the special section, because there's so much to cover with the Riseholme College of Agriculture. We've met the Riseholme College of Agriculture before. You may recall in the North Carlton episode a few months ago we encountered the Showground campus. Whilst that might have most of the modern facilities, Riseholme College started life here in Riseholme itself. It was founded as Riseholme Farm Institute in 1949, becoming in 1966 the Lindsey College of Agriculture. In 1980 it merged with its two Lincolnshire counterparts in the Holland and Kesteven areas, and the combined county-wide College of Agriculture was taken over by De Montfort University in 1994. In 2001 it transferred to the University of Lincoln, and since 2012 it's operated as part of Bishop Burton College. Although walking around the place you'll see plenty of University of Lincoln vehicles and signage, Riseholme College is totally independent. Its equine facilities are based here at Riseholme Park. The equine unit was opened in 2002, and its facilities include two indoor American barns housing up to 30 horses. There's also two outdoor arenas, an indoor arena, a horse walker, AI facilities, a treadmill and a DIY yard for students. The campus also has a successful Cleveland Bay breeding program. The college has two farms, one on the main site at Riseholme and one at Lodge Farm in Netlham. In 1994, Princess Anne opened a brand new residential training college for the Inland Revenue named Loris Hall. That's on your screens now. At the centre of it all is Riseholme Hall, designed by William Railton and sometimes known as the Old Hall. It was built in 1744 and it's a Grade II listed building. It was, aside from being the Bishop of Lincoln's residence for a time, also famous for another reason. In 1890 it was the birthplace of the English travel writer, novelist and explorer Rosita Forbes, who was the first European woman to visit the Kufra oasis in Libya. This feat was especially impressive because it was done in the early 1920s, a time when that area was closed to Westerners. Her father, Graham, was a Member of Parliament. The rest of Riseholme is a bit of a mixture. Opposite the end of Church Lane is Niven House. Now offices, this was formerly a rectory. From this road, it's possible to see the hall from a distance and the picturesque lake that it stands in front of. Beautiful, isn't it? The field over the way has some cows in it, lots of them. It's unusual to see livestock in a West Lindsey field. Both the hall and the park, which is also Grade 2 listed, have been owned by the University of Lincoln since 1994. On the left, we then come to Riseholme Park Farm. Beyond it, down St George's Lane, there's another cluster of buildings. They include Riseholme Grange and Link's Laboratory. By car, St George's Lane is accessed from the A15 and not through the farm. Now, as far as the rest of Riseholme Village goes, actual residences, the rest of the road just continues out towards the A15 from this point. I'm standing outside Riseholme Park Farm here. You can see a couple of houses in shot here. It's just a long, straight road that runs all the way to the A15. Not really much to write home about, although I do know there is a parish notice board up there, so I'm just going to trot along there, stick a card on it, and that will be Riseholme in the books. However, there is one more thing I would like to cover in this episode. You see, those houses, and the ones we've already seen back that way, don't account for all of Riseholme Parish's population, and that's because the city of Lincoln has something to do with that. I'll show you what I mean in a moment. So here we are then at the parish notice board, and as you can see, as I mentioned just a moment ago, just a row of houses up to the A15, which you can see in the distance. Just going to put a card on here. Riseholme is done. We are down to 4 officially. There we go. This house next to the parish notice board, by the way, sells honey for £5.50 a jar. So if you fancy some Lincolnshire honey, that's the place to go. Riseholme, as we've seen, is a tiny place, but it still has quite a sizable population, 343 according to the 2021 census data. So where do they all live? The answer is here. This is the Millbeck Drive estate located behind the local Waitrose store. This is a collection of streets which really should be part of the city of Lincoln. However, the parish boundaries extend across the A46 Lincoln bypass and into the city, but that wasn't done by design. Lincoln is an expanding city. There are new housing estates here, there and everywhere, and it's beginning to breach its boundaries. That's exactly what happened with this road, although Millbeck Drive has been around for a good 25 to 30 years now. As space in the city runs out, new estates like these are adding to West Lindsey's population. Stay tuned for another example like this in 2 weeks' time. But next week, we're off to a place that needs no expansion. It's already big enough. I'll see you there, everyone. Bye for now. Thanks for watching this video, folks. Don't forget to like this episode if you haven't already. It really makes a difference with YouTube. If you're new here, subscribe to the channel for more videos like this, and give us a share too if you've got friends who'd like it. You can find all the links to my social media accounts below, as well as my Buy Me a Coffee page where you can donate to the channel. Also, if you've enjoyed this episode, have a look at some more videos in this series. Until next time, I've been Andy, also known as the Village Idiot, and I'm out.